So Blake 7 begins its fourth and final season with the episode Rescue, as they have to find some means by which to escape the planet Terminal, where in the previous season they lost the Liberator to Serverline before it was destroyed. But she left them a ship from which they could escape the terminal planet as well. But guess what? Yeah, it was booby-trapped. Yeah, so in the ensuing explosion that also destroyed the underground complex, Callie was killed off camera. Now, they did this voice bit of her using her psychic powers to call out to Villa, She was, Villa! Villa! So Villa tried to save her, but then the explosion and everything, and presumed dead. Now, they were able to save Tarrant, so there's that, but that's how they did that. I don't know I guess the actress didn't want to continue on or what have you, but anyway, that's how they did that. And so that leaves only Villa and Avon as the last remaining original members of the crew. And of course, supposedly, Blake himself is dead. Serverline said so. So there you go, huh? Well, anyway, so, oh no, there's no way off the planet. But then, lo and behold, here comes this guy named Dorian with his ship, the Scorpio. And turns out he's a scavenger, and he was looking to get either the Liberator ship itself or, material from it or what have you. And, well, little did he know it had been destroyed and all that. So then he ends up getting captured and forced at gunpoint by Avon and Tarrant because, hey, we want off this planet. So they get on the Scorpio and take off. And he takes them back to his hidey-ho on the planet Xenon. And lo and behold, he's got this smoking hot blonde girlfriend waiting for him. and he's got a nice little pad there and all that stuff. And then turns out he can shut off all their weapons, so they're useless, and so they pretty much just have to be agreeable with the guy. And so far, so good. He's trying to negotiate a deal, saying, hey, look, I'm going to need your ORAC computer to help me out because I'm developing a teleport machine. And so, oh, wow, only Liberator had a teleport. Well, now this guy's working on one. Wow, he must be super smart. I wonder how he got so smart. Well, turns out he's got a secret. You see, down in his basement, which is just some old caves, there's an entity in there that drains life off of people and has been able to enable Dorian to extend his life. Yeah, it turns out he's 200 years old, so he's had plenty of time for some book reading, and so that's why he's so smart. Apparently his girlfriend, Sue Lin, was unaware of all this. She was just there, for the good times and everything. So slowly but surely this plot unfolds and, they figure out what he's up to and everything. His name should have been a dead giveaway because this was inspired by the Dorian Gray story, And so the idea was that he was going to sacrifice the Liberator crew to the creature and extend his life and all that. Apparently, they would have merged with the creature in some weird thing because he had a partner 200 years ago when they were exploring that planet, and he sacrificed him, and he was merged with the creature. So after they get in a battle and they kill Dorian, and he rots away and turns into powder, like Dracula and all that, and then the creature, well, he turns back into the guy, the old partner. He's laying there on the floor dead and all that. So, yeah, I was never quite sure how it was all going to work, but I guess it did. I mean, Dorian was there. Meanwhile, his girlfriend, well, she just disappears for the moment. But nevertheless, I guess he never intended to sacrifice her because, well, she's just so damn hot, I guess when she got older, over the years, he would have tossed her to the monster, But anyway, she kind of lucked out on that one. So there they are. They're now stuck in Dorian's house and everything, but they got his ship, right? Well, he locked the door to the hangar deck of where the Scorpio is, and they can't get to it. So they say, hey, we got Villa. He can, he can crack this door. He can get into anything. Well, it's been booby-trapped. Turns out, if you mess with it, a nuclear explosion goes off. Man, Dorian really wanted to keep that door shut. So anyway, trying to figure that out. Turns out the planet Xenon is inhabited by two warring tribes, and it's a war of the sexes. You have these, I don't know, Viking-like tribesmen, and that's the men, and then you have these space witches called the Seska. See, Blake 7 came up with space witches first, Acolyte. So anyway, so they go back and forth. The Seska, they have psychic powers. They can move stuff and mess with you and all that kind of thing. The men, the Homics, as they're called, they're just, big dudes and they're warlike and everything. But when they're able to capture some of the Seska women, they perform some sort of surgery on them that it knocks out their psychic powers, and then they just become sex slaves, And one of the women, turns out, even though she's been enslaved and operated on, boy, she just can't help herself. She's in love with the chief, I mean, sure, she knows he's a bastard and everything, but, something about him. There's a charm there. So, and that's the tell. She's like, yeah, I'm not Seska anymore. Now I'm a woman. So, and of course, the new leader of the Seska is like appalled and everything. So she messes around with Avon, and there's an attraction there. He plants a kiss on her and whatnot. But she's still got to do her plot and still maintain her hatred of all men. Turns out one of the member of the Homics kind of remembers the way life used to be. So he has knowledge of technology and whatnot. But some war broke out years ago, and all these younger people, they don't know anything about it and don't understand how it used to be. And, well, that's just the way it's going to go, And so they're all kind of stupid, but there's still some technological apparatus here and there. Meanwhile, the Seska had some deal with Dorian, but, well, he's dead now, so that's over with. And they were trying to get to the ship as well, so they were, that's the deal they all wanted. But ultimately, Avon is then able to use Aurak as Dorian intended to complete the teleporter, and then manages to teleport himself and kill the last of the Seska. And so, well, sucks to be you, Seska. And then Sulin shows up. Hey, guys. Hey, can I come along? And, of course, she's smoking hot, so, of course, you're going to let her join the crew of Blake 7. And although, I guess by now, they should have been called Avon 7 because, well, Blake's dead, isn't he? So, but anyway, yeah, the best thing about this is, Sulin's there, and I am perfectly all right with that. Yeah, boy, am I. So there you go. They managed to make it back from a terrible fate at the end of season 3. And they got a new ship that's almost as good as Liberator. And what are the odds that they would find one? I know you can easily say, come on, what's the luck here? But there's Dorian's story. He lived a long time, so he learned how to soup up his ship and was close to making a teleport machine himself. He just needed Aurak's help. And well, look, they have Aurak. It turns out he knew the guy who developed Aurak because, well, he's that old. And so, they explained it. They figured it out. So you got to give them that. A lot of these shows today, they just all of a sudden some magic thing happens and, yeah, look at that. And they just move on. No, they explained it here. Sure, it's still a lot of luck and everything, but so what? They made the effort. So anyway, not bad episodes for starting off the season. And so they're on the countdown for the end of the Blake 7 story, as it originally was anyway. I know there was continuations, novels, and audio plays and stuff. I'm not familiar with those. But all in all, a really good start for, unfortunately, the final one. But it does have quite the ending, which is unusual in a lot of these sci-fi shows, into how it ends. And I've always been rather impressed with it. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We're not quite there yet, but we will. So anyway, there we go. We're off to season 4 with Rescue and Power.